Judy Murakami from the Comox Valley, and we've got a new edition of No Strings Attached. We're going to be doing some hot Latin music with Sweet Santa Fe and Oscar Robles Diaz.
Lo puedo hacer, quédate conmigo, amor. Te daré lo que quieras, todo a tu manera, amor. Bésame despacio.
When the weather is frosty, don't think cold, just think hot Latin music. Sweet Santa Fe is an amazing group. It consists of Christine Baxter and Michelle Rivero. Christine was a member of the Just in Time Vocal Jazz Choir who went to Cuba, and she met Michelle Rivero. They clicked, and voila, they're now married and making sweet music together. So, Christine, tell me about Sweet Santa Fe.
Sweet Santa Fe is our duo, my husband and I. We chose the name because we were living in Havana, Cuba, in a district called Santa Fe. And our music is a little bit sweet, and so we just chose that name because it kind of fit with us.
Nunca fui el hombre perfecto, ya lo sé. Cometí muchos errores, pero estoy aquí, mi amor, para acompañarte al despertar y darte mucho más de lo que pude ayer.
So, Michelle, tell me about how you got started in music in Cuba.
I did start like when I was in like 9 years old, and we were doing. I did start in playing percussions, Latin percussions, and singing in choirs, playing in bands, doing a lot of traditional music, Cuban music, and Latin American music, because in Cuba there's a huge movement of Latin American songs, and this feeling is always in Cuba. And that was the way that I did start. So playing a lot of music, doing a lot of music, singing a lot.
After today, I'll be dancing with the ghosts of yesterdays, replaying parts of movies that we made.
So, you're actually Canadian,
I'm Canadian, yes.
and you went down to Cuba?
Yes, and we discovered that we were good songwriters, and we tried to write a song together, and it was like amazing. It was easy, and finding somebody to write easily with is like amazing. Like, it's difficult to find somebody to write with, so we started writing together, and all of that. We fell in love, and it was beautiful. Yeah, so now we're performing together in Spanish and in English.
So, how long ago did you go to Cuba for the first time?
2014.
24. Oh, so just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, did you go originally to meet musicians?
Yes, it was a choral exchange. So our choral group went down and did exchanges with other choral groups. It was really fun. And now I think Wendy is, there's another group going down this year too.
Oh, so you were with Just in Time?
Yes, Just in Time Choir.
I see. So that sparked an international romance.
Exactly, yeah.
One of the things I really admire about musicians is when they give back to the community, and Christine sums it up brilliantly here. So why is it important for you to give back to the community?
Well, that's why we do music, is to give back, because community is about sharing and bringing joy to other people. And if you can't do that, then I don't know, why are you here, right? It's really important. Yeah.
Perfect.
And that's really, I mean, in Cuba, you really see that everywhere. Everyone just gives where they can, right? And it's not always about giving monetarily. It's about giving what you have. And what I have is a voice, and what I have is songs. So I'm sharing that. So.
Whenever you go to a new community, it's really important to have friends. And for Michel, coming from Cuba, he had the entire choir as his support base because he knew them already. Having spent time with them in Cuba, they were singing together and writing music together. So were you involved with your choir for several years before you met Christine?
Oh yeah, so I used to sing in a choir since a kid, but once I finished the art instructor school and the military service, one of my teachers in the school decided to create a choir in my community because there was like 20 people interested. So we create Voces de Ébano choir, and this choir was doing interchanges with Canadian choirs like for 6 years, 5 years, 7 years, like this. And so it was the way that when Christine choir, was Just in Time choir, went in Cuba, so we had that interchange together, and we had like 2 concerts and a workshop, and we were hanging together. It was very nice people to hang out with, and it was amazing. So it was like magic connected, and it was a good thing because already when I moved, I came here, so I had a lot of friends. So I already knew Wendy Nixon, I already knew Sean Mooney, like a lot of people from this choir, and that was a very good backup. So just to arrive here.
After today, my whole world will change. There's an empty chair that rests in the garden. After today, your every word will stay like an echo of a prayer that was spoken. After today, I'll be dancing with the gods of yesterdays, replaying parts of movies that we made to keep holding on to.
Oscar Robles is from Mexico City, and he is a very talented musician. He came to the Comox Valley because he fell in love as well, and if music is the food of love, play on. Oscar is such a talented musician. He plays percussion, he plays guitar, he plays drums, and he also has a very special musical instrument, which is sort of like a piano and a guitar into one. So, Oscar, tell me what you are playing there.
This is called a Chapman stick, and it was invented by Emmett Chapman in California. He wanted to get more out of his guitar, being able to play different layers of things. So his idea of tuning this was on fifths and fourths, so then that way he could have a melody and a bass line and also chords. So I can play bass with these fingers and then chords up here as if it was a guitar, and then I can play a melody.
So, you were born in Mexico City?
I was born in Mexico City, yeah.
And when did you come up here to the Comox Valley?
I started coming up here in 2007, and since then I've been first 6 months, and then I stayed here, I think, after 2009.
And what brought you up here?
Well, my wife. I met her in the airport in Mexico City, and that's how we met, and then since then we've been together, yeah.
And I understand she's a musician too.
She is, yeah. She's a bass player and also a flamenco singer.
Like all of our international musicians here, Oscar has a home base in Mexico where he tours. He tours here as well, and he plays music. He accompanies different music groups. He plays so many different instruments. He's versatile, and he can play with many different musicians. And he and his wife Brittany can also perform together. So, what other instruments do you play?
I play drums on local choirs, and other bands too, like the Gilly Martini Band, and different combinations. I also play acoustic guitar. I've done collaborations with musicians around the valley, like Nella, or I play with Sean Mooney, other musicians like Jeff Drummond, like really good musicians. I've been lucky to perform with great musicians around here.
And your formal training is in?
Classical guitar. I started school, I did some school in classical guitar, and flamenco, it's always been in my mind, so it's always been there.
And how did you discover the flamenco here in the Comox Valley?
It was a really funny story. I went to Portuguese Joe's and I bought some fish, and in the wrapping paper, where the newspaper was, there was this contact information and some article about flamenco dancing at the Bridge Lounge. And then, so I decided to, it was already passed, it was gone, but it had this address, an email address. So I emailed and put me in contact with the flamenco teacher, and that's how I ended up there. And it was great, because now we have a trio called Azucena Flamenco, and we performed around here in Sid Williams and events at Victoria and festivals and around wineries and all over the place.
So what do you like most about playing music in the Comox Valley?
I think I like that Comox Valley is a very rich place in arts, several different parts of arts, like painting and everything, right? There's so many artists around here, and I love that about this town. And especially too, the people here are really warm, and it's a beautiful place. I love it. Yeah.
When you met your wife, where was she living?
She was living here, and well, actually, she was coming, I think, from Montreal when she ended up in Mexico City, and her goal was to go there and play music. So she brought her bass with her, and that's how we saw each other in the airport, and we started talking. And then from there, it happened that I had a group over there that needed a bass player, and it was funny. She started touring with us right away down there, so she played in different. Right away, she had festivals and stuff down there. In Oaxaca, we play jazz festivals over there, and Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and then Mexico City, lots of places there too. Yeah, so we started playing pretty much right away.
So there seems to be quite a vibrant Latin community here.
Yeah, it's growing. I guess, yeah, it's been growing, and it's great, yeah.
From the Comox Valley, this is Judy Murakami for Shaw TV.